Hello and welcome to this edition of Ringside Digest. I'm your host Kirk Day, along with my co-host Noah Byrne and Nick Miller. And today we've got some big contract extension news. This one comes out of Montreal. The resident Montreal fans here are pretty happy with this one. And it's a bit of Cole Caufield contract update, a little bit of an update, a little bit of news here. Tweet came out, I'm not sure if it was earlier today or yesterday, from Tony Marinaro, or whatever his name is. I can't pronounce it. Cole Caufield contract update. Yesterday I reported that I'm hearing Cole Caufield's new contract with the Canadiens will not be more than Nick Suzuki's cap hit of $7.875 million. Today I was just informed talks progressing, all signs point towards a 7 or 8 year deal. Now, I'll tell you, I'm not going to be doing too much on this topic. I'll hand this over to Nick and Noah here soon. I just want to say really quick that if this does end up being less than Nick Suzuki's contract and a 7 to 8 year deal in these forward contracts, this will be an absolute steal. Because we know how good Cole Caufield was, even before the injury this year. He was on a really, really good pace in goals, which I believe Nick will be talking about later. But you can see here the forward contracts that they have. Nick Suzuki is the highest. Cole Caufield's not here because he's on the IR, on cap friendly, so this just shows who was on the active roster at the end of the season. But you can see you have guys like Josh Anderson, who may be on the trade block with what we've been seeing of it here recently, and Brendan Gallagher, pretty much just the two other highest contracts on this team. It's not a bad deal if you see Cole Caufield getting under Nick Suzuki. Probably in between a Gallagher-Suzuki contract is what you might see, probably a $7 million. And I think that would be an absolutely fantastic deal. So I'm not going to waste any more of these guys' time here. Let me know, guys, what do you think about this contract news, Noah?
Yeah, I mean, getting Caufield signed for Kent Hughes is number one on the priority list, and to be able to get him at less than 7.875 would be an absolutely massive deal. You look at guys over there in Toronto, and I'm not sure the exact number, but for four players to be locked up, I think it's 30 or 40 million. It's absolutely crazy. So to have probably your two cornerstone face of the franchise players locked up for less than $16 million would be absolutely massive. And I mean, like you said, not to mention he was probably on pace to put up at least 40 to 45 goals. So I mean, to get a 40 to 45 goal scorer for less than $7.5 million is absolutely huge.
Now, before the Leafs fans freak out, we're not saying that those two players are better than your core four, your beloved core four.
Yeah, I should have said that.
But at the same time, those guys have been to a Stanley Cup final. So when you're getting that production from Caufield, he can do it. Under Marty St. Louis, he's doing it better than he ever was for Dominic Ducharme. The guy showed that he can play in a market like Montreal. He can score goals there. We've got our dynamic duo up front. We want to get Caufield also locked up. We've already got Suzuki on a bargain of a contract because the guy's already putting up points. Like, if you look at his point totals from this season, he had that's like a 60-point season. So without really much help, because Caufield, also that's another thing I wanted to talk about. Caufield was tied for the team lead in goals, or I can't really see that. I think he was maybe one below, or maybe he was tied for it. But Caufield was pretty much the team leader in goals in a season in which he played pretty much half the season. That is a ridiculous stat. I know it's a bad team, but at the same time, Cole Caufield was on pace for about 45 goals, somewhere around there. To get him signed and to get him locked up, have our dynamic duo up front, especially with the 5th overall pick coming up, Slavkovsky coming up, Doc there. This is a huge move for the Montreal Canadiens. He's so important to the team.
Yeah, absolutely.
Getting this whole team locked up now and really early will be key to, I think, their success in a couple of years. Because we know that next year, they probably won't have any success again. They probably be around the same spot they were this year. But it's the importance of getting them locked up early, because we know that the cap is only going to go up from here. We didn't know a couple of years ago what was going to happen with it, but we were told it was just continually going to go up. It might only go up like $1 million each season. But if you think that you lock up Caufield on an 8-year contract at 7.5, let's just say, in a couple of years, that will be pretty much equivalent to a $5 million contract now. Which, having someone like this locked up for what would be the equivalent of $5 million now will be an absolute steal. And I think if Caufield is willing to take this, which it seems like he will as these talks are progressing, we might see here now in this week or week or two over the next little period of time, we might see Cole Caufield on a fantastic contract, which will be the pretty much the beginning of the Montreal Canadiens, let's just say, beginning of their revival.
Dynasty.
Yeah.
Dynasty.
You can call it a dynasty. We'll see. We'll have to see about that. But, it's going to be pretty exciting over the next few weeks, because we also got to mention Just before I'll say this before you
Yep.
go on. Noah.
Yeah, you go on.
We have guys like Trevor Zegras as well, who are in the same range, who are looking for contract extensions as well. And I think that once Caufield begins his, that's when you'll start seeing the market open up to more players. I think nobody really wants to start your contract negotiations because you don't know if you're going to be undercut. You don't know if you're going to be overpaid. You kind of want to be in the middle of that pack, see what the players similar to you around your age get, and then you'll value yourself in the market. But I think if they can get Cole Caufield locked up early, which I think was the priority, just say if Zegras got 8 to 9 million, Caufield might want more than what he's probably going to get. So very important to get this locked up. And Noah, what were you going to say?
I think going back to the money thing, if you get him at a relatively cheap deal, it could clear the way for a Pierre-Luc Dubois signing as well. I mean, we all know how massive and how all the rumors of him going to Montreal are kind of swirling. So I think if you can get Caufield for relatively cheap, it makes it so much easier to kind of slot him in there. That's Dubois, that is.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. But that's all I got for this video. So if you liked it, make sure to give it a like and also make sure to subscribe to the channel. If you want to see what happens with this contract, we'll be right on it when it happens. Going over the value of what it could be, what it could mean for everybody else in that age group, looking for a contract extension off their ELC. So that's all we got for the video. If you liked it, make sure to like, subscribe, and thank you for watching.